Welcome to the Cosmic Echoes, Encounters of the Curious Kind. It's so lovely to see you, Sue. It feels like it's been way too long. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm very curious because we are filming this 2 days before the great conjunction of Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. And there's been a lot of hype around this conjunction. I'm sure anyone who's into astrology will have been overwhelmed by the information coming at them.
Yeah, even us, who's learning a lot, I've been ingesting and trying to understand what all the possibilities are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big message I get, oh gosh, I sometimes get confused around what I feel about all of this information, because 14 years ago, when Uranus and Jupiter were conjunct, last 14 years ago, they were conjunct in Aries. Nobody knew about it because nobody was into astrology. They all got on with their lives.
And it just passed and
Gone off, gone
yeah.
on, you know, and now it's just like everyone's going, oh my God, it's really, oh, and it's not unusual for Jupiter and Uranus to come together. They do it every 14 years. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's one of the great cycles.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, keep perspective. Yes, it is a feisty coming together, but they are coming together. So they're singing the same song. You know, it isn't a square, which is, which is the challenging aspect, and it isn't an opposition.
Yeah.
They're coming together to form some kind of resolution, and to start a new 14-year cycle.
Yeah.
So this is like a seed moment, if you like, on the Sunday. So by the time this video comes out, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what's happened in these few weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's worth making a note what happened 14 years ago to whoever's watching this, and to see what happens as you watch this video, whether you've kind of had an insight, and just to be aware that a new seed moment has started for another 14 years.
Yeah. And being in Taurus, it'll be around values and nature and money, or could be.
It could be finance, it could be earth changes,
Yeah.
you
Which
know,
is
I mean,
happening already.
Taurus likes to be in its field with as the bull, and he likes his cows, and he's munching his grass and not a lot else. He likes just to hang out with the flowers.
Yeah.
So to have Uranus, the planet of shocks and surprises, coming together with Jupiter, the king of the gods, and that's going to expand everything, that's not comfortable for
Taurus.
Taurus. So I would say something will give. And it's interesting that today, that as we're filming this, Israel has lobbed a bomb at Iran.
Yeah.
And 14 years ago was the start of the Arab Spring. Now, it didn't go, it had its moment, and then it was repressed. And maybe, let's hope, maybe this lobbing of bombs will have their moment, and then we will, as a collective, just say enough.
Yeah.
So that's my prayer.
Yeah.
Taurus likes peace.
Yeah.
It wants peace. It's ruled by Venus. Venus likes to create beauty in the world. And war is not beautiful.
Yeah. And it's time for peace and love, and the collective. There's a lot of that around, you know, standing together, standing up, and that's more.
That's
Pluto, Taurus. Yeah,
coming together as the group, the herd.
Yeah, yeah. Which is also refreshing.
Yes,
as we had Pluto moving into Aquarius earlier in the year.
that's pokey energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
let's hope, and we'll know by the time this comes out.
I know, and also what's going to be happening before this video comes out is the moon in what I was going to say, in Scorpio. So the full moon in Scorpio, which is like 3 days later, and Scorpio is about let's dig it all up. Let's have a look at those secrets. Let's have a what can we complete here that just doesn't work anymore? What served its purpose? So
Yeah.
it's a very powerful energy. Scorpio is fixed water, Taurus is fixed earth. So there's a lots of fixicity going on. And the fixicity, if I can say the word, it's about resilience. It's
Yeah.
about determination. It's about staying in there to do the work.
Mm.
And hang on a bit too long, doesn't like change, but it is innate that enables us to dig in deep so that we can draw on our inner resilience, our emotional resilience, our physical resilience, Taurus, and our psychological resilience, which is Scorpio.
Yeah, which comes out of this fiery
Yeah.
areas, season of solar eclipses, and
Yeah.
Chiron's been conjunct the North Node, and
Yes.
Mercury's been retrograde in
Yeah.
Aries, and
Carrying on till the 7th
yeah,
over Chiron.
yeah,
So we've still got this opportunity, if you like, just to really pay attention to what we need to release to
mm,
become more of who am I? This is Aries is who am I? So
yeah,
that we do have a Mercury is still running over,
yeah,
saying, well, actually, who are you? You
yeah,
know,
yeah, and
yeah,
that's been really strong.
yeah,
Um,
very strong,
yeah,
very positive
yeah.
for a lot of people.
Yeah. And Chiron for me specifically, I've felt this Chiron wounded healer in Aries. Also, where are the wounds and am I moving through them? Can I communicate them in a healthy way instead of as a wound, as
Yeah.
weakness?
And when you're in your wound because you react,
Yeah.
you react out of anger or moodiness or depression or
Mm,
something like that. When you're really working with it because then you can kind of respond to what's going on.
that's
You
it.
can bear witness and go, oh, do you know what? I've got this feeling going on. I'm just going to watch what's going on. So it's not this sort of overwhelm, it's this ability just to have a bit of distance going, do you
Mm,
know, emotions, do what you need to do, I'm here, I'm not going to engage with you, and then they
yeah.
really wear themselves out, and then you feel a lot better. So it's bearing witness to yourself, to how you feel, but you're not entering into, there's a part of you that doesn't enter into the drama.
That's it. That observer, you
Yeah,
almost kind
yeah,
of can just rise above and let it see how
yeah,
it plays out
yeah.
without being involved.
Yes. And
Yeah,
that's what the Chiron in Aries is asking you to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. But now first, as
Mm.
this comes out, we are going into the new moon.
Yes, in
It's
Taurus.
also got a very interesting placement. Tell us more about that.
21 degrees Taurus, so smack bang on the great conjunction. So, and the new moon is really about sowing new seeds, and it's also about inviting you to let go of something that you therefore can create something new.
Yeah,
So there is this sense of this sense of a seed moment. There's still a lot of Aries energy around, which we've just talking about, and also Mars is going to be going past will have gone past Neptune
mm,
and is in its own sign of Aries. So Mars Aries, whoosh, off we go. Very, very pokey energy, fiery energy.
yeah,
So things may not calm down in the world yet,
yeah.
but it's only in its that sign for about 5 weeks. So there could be quite a sort of that sort of aggression could be exacerbated. And also, the other side of that is Mars in Aries is a pioneer. So there could be people really stepping up to do the world in a different way.
Well, I like that. And I think that's really necessary.
Crusader could come out, that
Mm,
sense of let's just do this differently.
yeah,
Or maybe people will say, let's go on the streets and no, we don't want
yeah,
this. We
yeah.
don't want war.
Yeah.
We are a crusader for peace rather than blindly lobbing bombs at each other.
Yeah, and consistently, and so such, such a devastating impact.
Oh, it's. I mean, who wants war?
Well, the people that make money from it.
Well, it's the old
You
guard.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and this is what Pluto's doing is really making us pay attention that
mm,
there's a new world order
mm,
coming, whether we want it or not.
yeah,
And it's up to us as the collective. Aquarius is about the humanity. It isn't
yeah,
about me. It's
mm,
about humanity. It's about coming together. It's about creating communities and social enterprises,
mm,
and it's about very engaged in social justice. That's Aquarius. It wants utopia.
yeah,
So, and then, so I think all this year, Pluto won't be going finally into Aquarius till the end of the year.
mm,
All this year, we'll be having this dance, if you like, between the old order lobbing bombs and the new order saying, let's do this differently. And then
yeah,
I think after December, then perhaps we've got an opportunity, and all these elections will have taken place.
yeah. There'd
There's
be
something
new
like,
leaders. There'd be a new energy in that. There's also the crossing of the eclipse path, isn't it,
yes,
happening?
it's
Yeah,
being done.
yeah.
I'm not sure whether the new leaders are going to come this year because
Okay.
we've still got Uranus, we still got uh, um, Pluto
Pluto in
going into
Capricorn.
Capricorn, and
Yeah,
not seeing new leaders come to light. I'm not. But
yeah.
this could be the end of it. This could be, we can't have this lot again. We have to do
Yeah,
things differently. And I
yeah,
know amazing people who are standing to be MPs now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be that after the elections at the end of this year,
Mm,
and then Pluto goes into Aquarius, that things really start to break down and
yeah,
break
yeah.
and break through.
Yeah, but this is still, it's kind of, as we were saying earlier, it's often not a sudden thing. It's a process, and it's
Yes,
being part of that process
yes,
and understanding our place in it, which I
yes,
think makes astrology such a powerful way for us to understand
yes,
not just ourselves, kind of our place in this universe.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think this new moon on the 8th is because it's Taurus, it's going to help us slow down and take stock
Mm,
rather than going into knee-jerk reactions.
yeah.
And I think on a higher level, if you think about it, it's, with um, Israel lobbing bombs at Iran, and
Yeah.
Iran lob bombs at Israel, I think it's really giving us an opportunity to go, how do we want to live now?
Mm,
And actually, in a way, they're serving such a higher cause, if you like, for us to go, we don't want that anymore. We're
no,
done. And I think that's millions of people around the world, that the zeitgeist is like going,
enough.
enough. We're not taking that anymore
Yeah.
from these old fashioned patriarchal leaders. Enough.
Yeah.
But it's a
And
very
that,
painful process to go through.
yeah, because there's such crazy truths coming out. I've been watching some stuff this week and I'm like, wow. Wow. Is how, yeah, I don't even have words for it, but I think that is becoming more generalized as to,
Yeah.
oh wow, I was deceived. I didn't see the bigger picture. I didn't understand the depth of this deception.
I think the thing is, what we've realized, all of us now, is we've been complicit in
mm,
things that we didn't even know were happening.
yeah,
And that's very distressing to go, well, hang on a minute. I'm part of that bomb lobbing. I didn't sign up for that. You did,
yeah, yeah.
because, what you've invested in,
Mm.
you haven't paid attention.
Yeah,
We're all, the humanity, we're all part of humanity. We can't separate out. And I
no,
feel like this is such an opportunity for us as humanity to make a decision or make decisions about how we want to be. And I think with Pluto in Uranus, Pluto in Aquarius,
Mm.
I would say things are not going to settle for maybe a couple of years.
Yeah.
There's, there is going to be this great changeover happening.
Mm.
But I have more hope now than
Yeah.
I have for a while. I'll put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Which is a good place to be, because that
Yeah.
means we're moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are exhausted.
Mm.
I think they're affected by this massive solar flares going on. Pam Gregory talks about this a lot.
Mm.
And we can't see them, so we don't know how they're affecting us. I think the zeitgeist is full of fear and
Yeah.
trepidation and stuff and
Yeah.
anger, outrage,
Mm.
all of that kind of stuff, and all the secrets that, the nasty stuff that's been happening is coming to the surface,
Mm.
and it's exhausting.
It is, and going through this whole process, or the month of April, with the eclipses, with all this movement,
Yeah.
and people taking stock, as you said earlier, it's like we know more now, so we can understand
Yeah.
more as to what's happening, which also can be exhausting, because there's all that information and all
Yeah.
that overwhelm.
I think that the key is not to buy into the outrage.
Yeah.
Anything to do with rage, not a good thing to do, because there's enough rage going on in the world. And
Yeah.
it's how do we work with that sense of outrage is in a positive way, in a way that actually feeds whatever something positive into the zeitgeist. And
Yeah.
how do we what's the other side of outrage? Because it isn't necessarily peace, but it might be a sort of more of a crusading spirit to really actively start changing. And that could be going, right, we're going to just form our local community, we're done with all of that, we're going to actually take control of our own communities, or form them, or we're going to come together to care for each other. It's that vibe.
Yeah. And there's also something else that's been coming up for me, is around our gifts, like looking within to see what do I bring to the tribe, or to the community, or
Yes.
to the, my space.
Yes. Yeah. And I think a lot of people forget that in astrology chart, the second house
Mm.
is absolutely linked to your talents and gifts. What are they?
Yeah.
Um, and I think we often forget that, and we kind of think, well, I'm on this hamster wheel and I'm scrabbling to make the money and keep the kids alive and do my husband. And, it's that kind of feel. And we forget that we've actually got innate gifts. And if we allow ourselves the breath, the Taurian
Mm.
stop,
Yeah.
to contemplate what your gifts might be. It might be that your great gift is caring.
Yeah.
It might be that your great gift is being an artist,
Yeah.
or a speaker, or
Mm.
having resilience. That's a fantastic gift.
Yeah.
But we don't honor those gifts because they're not doing something.
Because we've been told and taught that we need to be productive, and we need to be part
Yeah.
of this almost Capricornian society, where it's ticking boxes and filling bank accounts and doing all the stuff that we can't
And
take
being
anywhere.
successful. Well,
Yeah.
what is success?
And happiness,
Yeah, and
fulfillment, all
if
those
you
things.
don't attach, if you don't understand what your skills are, whatever they are, it could be that you're a wonderful carpenter, but you're so busy trying to, I don't know, be a manager in a company, and
Yeah.
your calling is like, at weekends I want to go and, I don't know, build something, or
Yeah.
and it's about listening to that. And I do believe the more that we attune to our gifts and talents, the more and we find a way of expressing that,
Yeah.
that gives us peace, because that's what we've come here to share with the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also what we can see in our charts. I mean, I told
Yes.
you earlier, I've never looked so deep and learned so much about my chart, which there's still a lot of room to learn. But to see these little elements playing roles and connecting them and going, ooh, that's exactly, that feels right or that looks right, gives you a sense of I'm on the right path or not.
And I think the other thing is to stop comparing yourself with somebody else, because your gifts and talents are unique to you. And I think what we tend to think, especially in this world of WhatsApp and
Yeah.
what's it called?
Facebook and
Facebook and all of this,
Instagram
and
and yeah,
everything looks absolutely perfect.
yeah,
That's not real life.
no,
And maybe you are amazing, I don't know, nail technician or whatever it is,
yeah,
but if that's your gift, go and work with it.
yeah,
And for other people, it isn't about looking beautiful or being
mm,
perfect. It's actually about, digging the garden because they love to grow things.
yeah,
That's a talent to have green fingers.
yeah,
It's a talent to teach or
yeah,
to pass on your knowledge, or it's or learn. I mean, that's
yeah,
amazing talent to be able to sit with a pile of books or
yeah,
the internet and
yeah.
do research. It's an incredible talent.
Or even to experience life, or
Yes,
to connect with people on a level that grows yourself, which
yes,
helps you again grow other things. I think we have kind of learned that there's a list, and if we don't fit into the which one do I tick, there's so much more. There's so much
yeah.
more real things that aren't necessarily on the list.
Absolutely. So
Mm.
I would say to anyone, take this opportunity, new moon in Taurus, after this very pokey month of April, is to just take some time. And maybe I know it's so hard to grab time in this frenetic world, but if you can, just to take stock and just ask yourself, do you know what makes me happy?
Mm.
Does the ironing make you happy? I mean, that's a talent and a gift I don't possess.
Me too. I don't even own an
It
iron.
will make you happy. I hate it, but I know people that love it.
Yeah.
Or, leading walks, or all sorts of stuff. There's so many ways you can express it. So
Yeah.
just take that time and just think, what are my talents and skills?
Mm.
What am I good at? And I promise you, lots of people go, I'm not good at anything. That's rubbish. You're
Yeah.
good at something.
Or you love doing something. I think that's the first place to look. What do I love doing? And
Yeah,
and the good and the skill can be taught when there's love and passion involved.
absolutely. I mean, some people are very good with animals.
Yeah. My cat's in the back and yours is going to say hello.
She loves joining in. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so with this whole, I mean, we would have moved past, we have
Yes.
Jupiter and Uranus.
Yeah.
There's also talk about this fortune element and this abundance
Oh,
element and
yeah.
on our charts and in the stars as such. Tell me more about how that plays
Oh,
out for you.
okay. So there is a point in the chart called the part of fortune,
Yeah.
which is kind of like that came from the Arabic form of astrology. Personally, I don't use it.
Yeah.
Lots of people do. So if you're a part of fortune person, it's very easy to find it. You just tick the book, pop in, where your part of fortune is, and
Yeah.
it is said to be where you're most skilled, or you're
Uh,
most creative, or most talented, or
yeah.
it's called the part of fortune.
Okay. So that could also be a connection to what is my skill then, or what is my
Absolutely.
passion. Yeah.
100%. Exactly.
Okay.
Now, personally, because I don't use it,
Yeah.
I look at Jupiter, because Jupiter expands everything. And when you've got a very strong Jupiter in your chart, it often feels like an angel is sitting at your shoulder.
Amazing.
Really interesting. Jupiter
Yeah.
often feels like that. You know, it's when you kind of struggle with money and you've got a strong Jupiter and just it always just works out.
Yeah.
The pants, but Jupiter's going, don't you worry, you know.
I
So
got you back.
Jupiter is about abundance, it's about expansion. So I always look at Jupiter. I always look at the sun because that's where you, whichever house that's in, whichever signs that in, that is where you want to shine the most. How are you shining in this life? What do you want? What does your sun want to express?
Yeah.
So, for instance, I have a friend who's Sag Sun,
Yeah.
and so she adores anything to do with travel, gardening, anything like that. And she's just got this incredibly open heart. She loves celebrity. I mean, that's all very sad, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Her job is looking at legal things, and that's
Oh,
the other
wow.
side of Sagittarius.
Okay.
Legal things. Jupiter's about legal things.
Yeah.
About legal things, yeah. So it's all very interesting how it all kind of merges in, and she doesn't even know about astrology, but she's
Yeah.
living, she's expressing her chart. So just take a look at your life and what are you expressing?
Mm.
Just think about that.
Interesting.
And that's kind of, I feel like that's where the abundance, a lot of people are, you know, feel very depressed and down about it, but how their life is playing out. But I do feel depression is because you've lost meaning and purpose. And Jupiter is all about faith and belief. And Sagittarius is all about that too. So, and I had a wonderful teacher called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross,
Yeah.
and I did a lot of work with her. She was very famous for being the first doctor to really talk to the dying about the whole dying process and what it was about. And I did a lot of training with her organization. And she used to say there are, you know, that there are 4 elements to make us a whole human being. The physical, you've got to have a physical body that works, a mental, you know, mental dexterity or being engaged with life, emotionally, you know, it's you know, this whole concept of being emotionally balanced and understanding who you are. But the 4th one is the spiritual, because that connects us to something greater than us. And it gives us this sense of, you know, it puts us in perspective.
Yeah.
If we do not have the 4th leg of the table,
Yeah.
we only have 3 legs on our 4-legged table. So we're always falling over. So
Mm.
I'd say to anyone, if anyone is worrying about abundance or help, I would just urge them to really connect or find ways to develop a spiritual understanding, this connection with something greater, because it makes us, from looking down at the belly, you know, looking at the
Yeah.
belly all the time and looking up here is a whole different experience. And for me, when I was chronically depressed when I was younger, and when I learned to do that, when I learned about understanding my more spiritual, this growing my 4th leg
Yeah.
of the table, I became emotionally stable.
Yeah. And I can attest to that as well. It's and it's not prescribed, you know. Spirituality is not, there's no right or wrong, there's no this way is the best or that way is the best. It is just literally, as you say, and I can feel it kind of looking up and
Yeah,
going, well, the world is a bigger place.
absolutely.
And
And
I'm connected.
yeah, and really interesting, the full moon in May is in Sagittarius.
Ah.
So this could be a fantastic opportunity
Mm.
over the month to really put your attention into how do I grow my 4th leg, which is to do with the spiritual, which do the connection. Some people call it God, some people call it the light, some people call it the dog with purple spots. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is about attuning to, there is something greater going on. And if you have no belief and no faith, that's absolutely fine. But just pay attention to that.
Yeah, it could be a tree.
It could be a
Trees.
tree, it could be
Yeah.
a plant, it could be
Yeah.
anything, it could be the cat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's it's not just about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is very Aryan, isn't it? The Aries
Yes.
is
Yeah,
very
me
much
to
about
me.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And it's about learning. So the Sagittarius is on the Sagittarius is on the Gemini Sagittarius axis, which is about the learning axis. So
mm,
I would say the full moon is a great opportunity to find a completion of what isn't, what to do with your faith and your belief, and to really kind of just about learning mastery about just what learning and what connection and what faith and belief mean to you.
yeah. Oh, and that's
People,
so Sagittarius. I'm Sagittarius, so I know.
I'm Sag rising, so
Oh,
I'm pulled all the time to
yeah.
learn, lifelong learning.
Yeah, and it's not a choice. It's like something that has to be done, and
Yeah.
it's an integral part of my life. I don't
Yes.
think, yeah,
And we need hope. And I think when we can raise our gaze up,
yeah,
it actually lightens us. And that I'm hugely hopeful. I mean, Sagittarius are known for their hope and
yeah,
enthusiasm. There's two of us here. So we really honor those people that don't have that.
yeah,
Um, but I would say, this is a time, if you've never done it before, pick up a self-help book,
mm,
anything,
yeah,
just to broaden your mind out,
mm,
if to lighten the depression.
yeah, yeah. Which is sad. I mean, we have a new moon in Taurus, and then
Full moon in
full moon in Sagittarius,
and
which
on
is
May the 23rd. Yeah,
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 which is the ground, earth and fire.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Mm,
what's interesting is Jupiter and Venus are conjunct. So
mm,
Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and
mm,
Venus rules the new moon in Taurus. So there's an energy coming together here, which I really love.
yeah.
Um, so yes, there's something really important to do with beauty,
Mm,
expansion, personal values, a sense of growing in knowledge, and which can help you ground who you are. Taurus is grounding, the new moon is about grounding, and the
mm,
full moon is about expansion of understanding. Very
yeah.
powerful. I hate using that word powerful, everybody uses it. Very something.
Impactful.
Impact, whatever. But yes,
It's
yes.
going to be good.
It's going to be expanding.
Yes,
It's
Jupiter.
Jupiter
Yeah.
expanding. What's another word for powerful? It's impactful, doesn't quite do it, does it?
Mm. Um,
Powerful is being very overused at the moment.
oh, I'm gonna have to think about this
I think so.
because it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much up here.
And anybody watching this, stick it in the chat.
Yes,
You've got a better word because we'll use it.
yeah. I love playing with words, and
Yeah.
I think we're heading for the end of this conversation, which is always a sad time. And I would love for us to touch on time next time
Oh,
around.
yes.
Because
Okay.
time is for me very fluctuating at the moment, very interesting. I kind
Yeah.
of viscerally feel it sometimes where
Yes.
it's yeah,
Yeah, let's do
that's
time.
really nice. In Taurus. Thank you, Sue.
Oh, pleasure.
Always amazing. I love learning with you.